Best Mix, K105.
This is In the Know for Monday, August 9, the 221st day of 2021. There are 144 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast. On Facebook Watch, on YouTube Live, on Periscope, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We'll have Where's Quacky Day number 1 as the big push to the Ducking Hunger Regatta gets underway. We'll talk with Debbie Childress. We'll give you a chance to win. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart. Oh, I'm out of practice. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
It helps if you turn it on.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very important step, but
It works if
a
you work it.
small one. You made the big school drop off this morning.
I did.
So
I was so excited.
How did that go?
It was great.
Back dropping off at Clarkson Elementary School.
Yes. Yeah. And it's been quite a few years since I've done that.
Did you forget how to do it?
Well, so she asked me on the way. She's like, "Mama, do you know how to get there?" Oh, yes, baby, I do.
You've been there a time or two, but you didn't forget. Well,
I did not
that's
forget.
good. She's off to a good start at kindergarten at Clarkson Elementary
Yes.
School, so it's good. She was raring to go this morning. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Moscow, Paris, Tokyo, and even Great American Ballpark. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. You had a big day at Great American Ballpark yesterday.
Yeah, it was cool. My dad and I walked into the building, and we were walking through the concession stands, and all of a sudden we turn around, and there's Johnny Bench.
Oh, really?
Within probably 20 feet.
Are you allowed to be polite to Johnny Bench?
See, there's some history in my family between Johnny Bench. I don't know if you, you
yes,
remember that
I know
story.
there is. That's why
my
I
dad,
wondered.
I think, said, I would like to shake his hand, but I don't really want to talk to him. And then we were sitting in our seats, and I look into one of the boxes, and there's a larger man with a white Reds hat. And a larger man with a white Reds hat means it's got to be Pete Rose. And I looked, and I leaned over to my dad. I was like, is that Pete Rose? And next inning, they put it up on the scoreboard, and there it is, Pete Rose. I thought, well, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose. Who else was going to be there? Marty was there. It was.
I know why they were there.
Yes,
It was Joe Morgan Day.
it was
wasn't
8-8.
8-8, and so
the reason.
Gotcha. Well, I noticed they were doing giveaways because it was Joe Morgan Day, and so that made sense on why they were all there together to pay tribute to the late great Joe Morgan. And so, did you walk around the ballpark?
Well,
chicken winging your arm like Joe Morgan would?
It was
when you were
interesting.
there?
The reason that we saw his wife there, saw Johnny Bench, is he was catching his wife's ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah.
Which was done on they have a little like kids diamond, so they don't do it on the actual diamond. And when his wife got up to do the pitch, she did do the chicken wing before she threw the pitch.
Of course.
And I thought, well, of course, she's got to do that.
Yeah, you got to be able to do that to pay tribute to Joe Morgan. Good to be back today after a couple of weeks away to allow me to celebrate my 50th birthday. So my odometer rolled over week before last. So if it's not just an illusion, I probably do look older today because I am older. I successfully rolled over to the 5-0. So thanks to everyone who had well wishes and birthday wishes, and then also thanks to everybody who helped fill in and cover over the last couple of weeks, including a whole plethora of people
It
from
was 15 different people.
Grayson County Schools, 15 from the schools alone. And then to Sam, of course, for steering the ship during a couple of weeks on the show. And then last week was filled with, it was a week full of, the way I described it was, Sam, you sort of had to be here. And then it was anyone who was publicly willing to be seen with Dennis Cook.
Yeah, as I said, we had the first week you all were gone. It was great. Great guest co-hosts. And then we had to scrape the bottom of the barrel with Dennis Cook week 2. And it was, but we had a great guest co-host last Monday with Sarah.
Yeah.
The best part of the Cook family. And then we ended the week with another great part of the Cook family of Gracie.
Uh-huh.
And, the rest of the week, we had to deal with
it was
Dennis.
people willing to be seen in public with Dennis Cook and Doug Robinson.
Yes. And Sheriff Chaffins, I'm not sure, was willing to be seen with Dennis Cook. But
yeah,
he made it happen.
He's dealt with worse people, I'm sure. So
yes. Now you do know that it ended with Sheriff Chaffins threatening Dennis for a felony traffic stop this winter.
No, I did not know that. I like to just plead ignorance to those types of things, so that I have in no way have any level of complicity in that regard. So again, thanks to everybody for filling in. It's going to take couple of days to get settled back in and kind of get into a routine, but looking forward to doing that. School's back in session. Sports season is about to start, so the changing of chapters here as we go forward. Weather-wise, what to look forward to in the coming days, according to our friends at the Wave 3 storm tracking team, we're going to be we'll be wet early half of the day today, but it's going to be warm later on in the week. We'll see probably, I think, between the lakes, we'll see 90 as the high tomorrow, Wednesday, maybe break 90 on Thursday or so. And then we'll cool back off a little bit for the weekend. And so just kind of get into this early to mid-August, what we would call the dog days of summer, as we are moving forward. So that's what you have to look forward to weather-wise. As Jefferson County Public Schools go back on Wednesday. Hardin County Schools back today. Grayson County Schools, of course, started middle of last week. So we're in that back-to-school period of time for elementaries, middle, high schools. But now as colleges segue back to the new semester, there is much debate on what to do about the surge in COVID-19 cases that we've been experiencing the last couple of weeks, on what to do on four-year universities, what to do on college and technical classes. And so it appears that all four-year public universities, KCTS, is going to require masks while indoors as they start the return of the semester. That's also finding its way out into the business community, which is a little bit different than what we saw in previous mask mandates. Previous mask mandates were coming from governmental agencies. And now you've got quasi-governmental agencies like schools and public institutions and healthcare, et cetera, that are making their own rules. But now you have individual retailers and businesses that are making the decision based on what they feel like is best for their business. And so restaurateurs are having to make a decision on, do they require masks worn indoors, at least to and from the seating area? And they have to weigh out, will they gain business by doing this? Will they lose business by doing this? So you're seeing some of the decision-making being handed back over to individuals rather than governmental agencies or mandates from the governor. We've also, of course, seen the last few days a lot of healthcare workers strongly objecting to being told what they have to do regarding vaccination status, whether that, I think that's across the state and in a lot of places across the country. And so we've got this contradictorial showdown of things where you've got political ideologies, you've got healthcare ideologies, you've got practical ideologies that are clashing at this convergence, where you've got people who are saying, well, on issues such as my body, my choice, I can do what I want. But then you say, well, you have to get vaccinated. And so we're having a hard time checking all of the boxes and being consistent. And it's causing angst. It's causing more hard feelings. It's causing more, we're at this weird intersection of ideologies and beliefs and how to manage what I hope is this last hump of COVID-19. And so it's just it's challenging. You see people, you got to be vaccinated. You should be required a vaccination passport. Say, well, you have to show a passport to buy alcohol or tobacco. That means you're a certain age. You have to have a passport to show that you're at liberty to drive a car. And then the other people say, well, that's not the same thing. That's not an apples and apples comparison. And so this is what I mean, this murkiness that we're living through on what should be reasonable and what should be expected and how do we work together to get through this. I don't know that it's a quagmire yet, but it feels
I don't know what it is.
It feels quagmire-ish. Agreed?
I don't know what it is.
Agreed.
I don't know the word to describe it. It's perilous times.
Hot
Yeah,
mess.
it is. And then, of course, COVID restrictions continue to be a club used over the head of Governor Beshear, and in particular at Fancy Farm, which was conducted over the weekend down in Graves County. Talk about, it was kind of a forfeit due to a no-show. There were very few, if any, Democrats, and really not any statewide Democrats that were present. They opted out. The Governor Beshear, Lieutenant Governor,
Coleman.
Pardon me?
Oh, Coleman. I thought you were
Coleman.
trying to remember her name.
Yeah, well, it was rolling around up there somewhere. They opted out, saying that because of the COVID-19 surge and et cetera, it was not the place to be on Saturday. Then you see optics of Governor Beshear being at a farmer's market on Saturday, not wearing a mask and talking with people. And so it's one of those, you're not being consistent with what I would have been more likely to buy your argument that Fancy Farm is not the place to be because of this COVID surge, except then you're in Lexington or Frankfort going about your business looking like nothing has changed. And so it's just the optics of that are a little bit different. But what Fancy Farm did do is set the stage for some soon-to-be gubernatorial GOP candidates to kind of posture and dip their toe in the water or get kind of some early feelings on how they might be received. Auditor Mike Harmon has already said that he is likely, he is running for governor, in the race is not for 2 years, by the way. Mm-hmm. Then you've got Ag Commissioner Ryan Quarles, likely. And then I had long believed that Congressman Comer.
Yeah, I thought so too, but he says no.
Well, he says no now, but I'm wondering how much of the reason he says no is because now you've got former UN ambassador and Trump loyalist Kelly Craft, who says that she's seriously considering getting into the gubernatorial race. So
got a little money too.
Huh? Oh,
she's got a little bit of money.
Absolutely got a little bit of money. So I'm wondering if that has changed his. If it's made him reevaluate that, hey, serving the 1st Congressional District of Kentucky isn't such a bad gig after all, when he, so I had not heard her name until the weekend. She spoke to the and I think she's got the ability to do it, but that's off in the distance just a little bit. The Olympics, the games of the 32nd Olympiad came to a conclusion yesterday. Technically, if you were watching in the United States, they ended yesterday, but because of the time difference, it was almost late Saturday when they came to a conclusion. If you were actually in Tokyo, what's being called an erratic pandemic Olympics came to an end, and the torch was handed over the proverbial torch was handed over to Paris, who will have the games in 3 years in 2024. And I'm kind of excited.
That's weird to say. In 3 years.
In 3 years, in 2020, yes, because it's supposed to be. The good news is we only have to wait 6 months for the Winter Olympics.
Which is even crazier. Do you not like the Winter Olympics?
She just doesn't like the Olympics, period.
Oh.
But
It stays on our TV all the time.
You could have a lot worse on your TV.
I could have been watching.
We had it on. We
news
were watching
or
it here during the show last week. I loved seeing because at this time there was no live events, so they were just playing the random replays. So we got to see all kinds of really random events while you all were gone.
And I hate to be that person that doesn't care for it, but when it's on all the time, it gets on my nerves.
Well, we got to watch weightlifting. The rock climbing was crazy.
That
And
was
then-
amazing. The
and
sprint rock climbing.
Yeah, and
where
then
they
when they do like the NASCAR, but it's cycling around the track. It's
Yeah.
like speed skating with the bikes.
Velodrome. Yeah,
Yeah,
velodrome.
yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, and
Yeah.
we learned all kinds of.
From the 23rd, when the opening ceremonies began, for us, the morning of the 23rd, if a television was on and I was near it, the Olympics were on it. It wasn't that I was necessarily paying attention to it all the time, but it's better than putting, for me, the national news or anything like that on in the background. It's just something that for 2 weeks we can take a break from all the COVID nonsense and just kind of focus on the great stories that evolve from not just American athletes, but athletes from around the globe. The U.S. women won their first Olympic gold medal in volleyball. We've been good in volleyball over the years, but we'd never won the gold medal until yesterday, and that gold medal gave us the edge over China. Gave us 39 golds in the games. China had 38, but we being the United States, running away in the medal count with 113 and China at 88, and then the host country, Japan, at 58. Some of the ratings, though, they were saying were abysmal for the Olympics, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One, this is being considered a transitional games. More people were streaming the games than ever before because of the platforms enabled you to watch whatever Olympic sport you wanted to watch at any particular time. Using the NBC Olympics Gold app, you could watch whatever it was that you want. You didn't have to rely upon the 4 primary networks on television. So that's bringing your numbers down somewhat. But then also you got some people that thought the games were being over-politicized or they were full of protest. Well, as someone who watched a lot of the games,
I don't think there was really any.
I didn't see any
see
protests by Americans. I didn't see any protests by anyone.
I think the only one was someone from Belarus. Wasn't there something along the lines of that she did something and now she's not allowed back in, or she's being put into prison? I was reading that.
Yeah, she was
now
seeking asylum
in
if
Poland.
she returns back.
Yeah.
But that type of thing is just you're letting people, whether it's the NFL or it's the MLB or things that you decide not to watch because you've allowed someone else to tell you that this protest is going on or that this is happening or that is happening, and you miss out on so many great things that are happening in the games.
Like the Alaska swimmer.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
Or Katie Ledecky or Allison Felix or just any of the Thing Mu. Like just all of the names that you take away from the game. So if you were staying away because you thought the world is too woke, then I really regret that because you missed out on something. Missed out on great games. A Kentucky junior, Sydney McLaughlin. Right?
Listen, does she even run? It just is amazing to me how she just glides.
So she represented the United States, but also represented the University of Kentucky, and now is a world record holder.
Well, I saw that if the University of Kentucky was a country, they would have finished 10th, I think, in medal
Yeah,
counts.
that's right. That would have finished ahead of a bunch of countries. But then also in the U.S. women's amateur, Jensen Castle won. She didn't even expect to make the cut. She didn't take enough clothes to compete for 4 days.
She's like the
God love
63rd
it.
ranked player
Yeah,
or
she's
something. I was reading.
63rd ranking, and she wins the U.S. Amateur, representing the University of Kentucky, so good for her. And then, Sam, I know you were really happy about the Reds sweeping the Pirates. You
Yeah,
were there to
listen.
see the sweep game?
Listen, there is not much better things than seeing the city of Pittsburgh have tears as they're walking out of the stadium after being destroyed by the city of Cincinnati.
Were there Pittsburgh fans there
There
yesterday?
were probably a dozen maybe, which was nice. 'cause
Well, they were easy to count if
They were
there were only a
outnumbered.
dozen.
Yeah, and it's nice because they wear that bright yellow, so it was easy to pick them out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's good. The Reds are playing really, really well. Winners of 8 of their last 10. 5 games back from the Brewers. We're coming.
Did you see any Willie Stargell
No
jerseys?
Roberto Clemente. You'd see
Yeah,
some of
you would
those.
see some of those. And Kyle Larson won NASCAR's race at Watkins Glen yesterday, eyeing the regular season title. They will go to the road course at Indianapolis coming up this weekend. So
Not sure I knew that was a thing.
NASCAR is continuing. Yeah, it's sort of new. They're using it a little bit more, but there you go. Kind of all wrapped up. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Debbie Childress is going to stop by, and we're going to talk about day number 1 of Where's Quacky. So hang around here on In the Know.
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart, 270-259-5604. Or GraysonCPAs.com.
There you are, right on time. Let's talk about quitting tobacco. Still with me? All right, okay. You already have a million reasons to quit. You've got kids, it's smoking up your new leather interior, blah, blah, whatever. You don't need another reason. You need a way. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Get free help and maybe even free nicotine patches and gum. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Or visit quitnowkentucky.org. Can't wait to talk to you.
Quality paves the way. That's the motto of Scotty's Contracting and Stone. All of the crushed stone products from Scotty's quarry in Litchfield are mined underground. Scotty's Contracting and Paving provides cleaner products made from pure limestone. If you agree that quality makes the difference, contact the team at Scotty's Contracting and Stone for crushed stone products for your project at 259-5696. That's 259-5696. Our quarry is located on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Apple's plan to scan images in the iCloud for child sexual abuse is drawing criticism over potential security and privacy issues. The plan, announced last week, would match images against a known list from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and other groups. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, a digital privacy nonprofit, argues that the system could act as a backdoor and it would be easy to start scanning for other types of content as well. Living on Mars won't be easy, but NASA is looking for volunteers willing to give up their regular comforts for a year inside the Mars Dune Alpha habitat at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. The experience aims to simulate life on Mars and give NASA a better understanding of how people will adapt. The application process is open to people between the ages of 30 and 55 with a master's degree in a STEM field. And Samsung launching an array of new devices this week, including a large foldable smartphone called the Z Fold. The consumer electronics giant will roll it out this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield.
When your baby leaves you all alone.
Today is Book Lovers Day. It is also Polka Day today, so fire up your favorite polka and dance around. Play the accordion if you want to. It's also day number 1 of Where's Quacky. Where's Quacky is a chance for you to participate in the upcoming Ducking Hunger Regatta and also win some fabulous prizes. Day number 1 of Where's Quacky. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to the K105 Facebook page and you will find a picture of Quacky, and you have to put in the comments section where Quacky is, and this time tomorrow we will announce one lucky person who will receive their own duck in the Ducking Hunger Regatta and a K105 t-shirt. So if you're watching along, then perk up, and there's, again, don't comment in the show stream. You've got to go to the K105 Facebook page to enter, but we're showing you a picture here of,
I think I know where that is.
Of where's Quacky, and we say...
I've been there once or twice.
I have, in this particular location, I have many mixed emotions about this facility.
And I have very few memories.
Huh, okay, yeah, that would make sense.
Let's put it this way. Last Friday night, I had a war at the top of this
All right,
place.
don't say too much.
No,
All right, don't,
no.
Easy, Sam.
don't
No,
say,
yeah, we can't,
Don't want to give it away.
No, I'm not.
But yeah, I can. So where's Quacky? Day number 1. Head over to the K105 Facebook page. You'll find that picture and then comment and tell us where Quacky is. And this time tomorrow, you may be the holder of one of the ducks in the upcoming Ducking Hunger Regatta. And we say good morning to Colonel Debbie Childress from the Grayson County Alliance. Salute.
Good morning.
Good
I'd
morning.
say at ease, but you've been at ease for a while.
I stay at ease. Well, it's my attempt to stay at ease. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be here.
This is kind of the big kickoff. In my mind, it's the final big push to the Ducking Hunger Regatta, which is it the largest fundraiser for the Alliance throughout the year?
It has been in past years, and that's what we're hoping to come back to in 2021. I was thinking about it this morning. This is our 6th year of Ducking Hunger.
Wow, 6. And if it's not the biggest fundraiser, it needs to be.
Right.
And the reason I say that it needs to be is I kind of want to talk a little bit about. You and I have had private conversations throughout the year, but it has been over the last 18 months. It has become increasingly obvious due to the pandemic, the vital role that the Alliance plays in the lives of the people that you serve. I know 18 months ago you thought you all were important, and you were, but my thing is over the last 18 months, we've really realized how vital you are to caring for Grayson Countyans. Is your level of understanding greater than it was before the pandemic?
I think so. I think for me, it came in 2 stages. When I first came to the Alliance in 2016, my eyes were opened to the impact the Alliance had made historically for Grayson County. Working these last years as the executive director, I have learned so much about issues of poverty and why and when families might need us for whatever season of time. And then 2020 hit, and everything that was fluff and stuff fell off, and it was all about basic needs and building those more secure 4 walls. And so, yes, I think a laser focus has been made on the services we provide in short-term and long-term support for families here in Grayson County that are struggling with the issue of hunger. 1 in 5 Kentuckians.
Yeah, going back to when I was a child, the old, they're starving in China, and there are kids that are this, and there are kids that are that, and we kind of have a tendency to think that this is an un-American problem. Mm-hmm. And maybe starving is too broad a word, or maybe too loud a word, but something we have learned a lot about over the last couple of years, or I have, is 2 words: food insecurity. And food insecurity is a real thing.
That's right. That's when an individual doesn't have adequate nutrition, sustain a healthy lifestyle. And we can all identify with it on this level. We may not have ever walked up our refrigerator and said, oh, there's nothing in the refrigerator, there's just nothing I want. But we've all experienced that time where we became hangry. Like we couldn't think about anything but I need something to eat. I can't focus. I can't make progress in other areas. And that's what some families are facing every day, every week, or a number of times during the week. They're unsure. And when you have to spend your energy and your time on where am I going to get the food, how am I going to secure that, and getting that settled, you don't have a lot of time and energy to focus on all the other things that can move you forward.
Yeah, it's amazing how when you just look at the science of it. I mean, when I was a child, the food pyramid and food groups and putting these things together and putting that thing together, it was kind of like yeah, I get it, I understand. But when you look at the science of it, that food is fuel. Mm-hmm. In the same way that you put fuel in your farm machinery, in your car, in your remote control cars in the form of batteries, that's what food is to humans. And when you are using the wrong fuel, mm-hmm. you get the wrong outcomes from what you want. You're not able to, just as you mentioned, focus. You're not able to compete, which means scholastically you don't do as well. You're more likely to be irritable, which leads you to make rash decisions. And so having the right amount of food, but the right kinds of food is also extremely important.
Absolutely. That's why we're working hard to provide that basic food that can help people through the USDA product, but also through the things from people's donations and food drives that we can balance that load. We try really hard to focus on a lot of produce throughout the year, take advantage of every opportunity. As neighbors, you all have had a bird's eye view of the demands that are placed on our agency, especially during 2020. Neighbors up the road, we apologize again for the traffic we created over the past 18 months. We think we have it pretty much under control now, but people desire to have good food support and healthy foods, but that's the most expensive thing in the grocery. And if you have to pick and choose between a full tummy and a product that's going to deteriorate quickly, you make those hard choices some days.
Yeah. I also think I from a parental standpoint, you make lots of sacrifices for your children. And you will go without something before you will allow your child to go without something that they really need. But sometimes I think it's important that we remind ourselves that there has to be a balance with that. And here's the reason I say. It's an ideology I like to call protecting the host. If you don't protect the host or the mothership, then it will cease to exist. And then all the things that are orbiting around it will fail as well. If you fly on an aircraft, you'll notice that when they give you the safety demonstration, the instruction is to put your oxygen mask on first before you help those around you. And so this is another important role that the Alliance plays in the lives of people that you serve and the families, is that hopefully you're treating everyone, like everybody who's in the equation, because if you're a parent who's malnourished or not nourished properly, you're not going to be the best parent that you can be, because your decision making will suffer. And so it's not just, the kids get our attention, but I know at the Alliance, you all are sort of focusing on the whole family unit and making sure they have what they need.
Absolutely. I actually had a family come in one summer and tell me that privately that they had been skipping breakfast so that the kids could have breakfast. And I just had to look them in the eye and said, listen, if you get sick, who cares for your children? Like, there has to be a balance. And so, yes, we do look at the whole family, whether it's our help with tax preparation for free, and we save families that money of tax filing, and we help them the best way we can with that. Maybe it's our referral service where we connect them with another resource. See, our mission is not just feeding our community, but we want to teach life skills and empower family stability. And we do that through our classroom. We have nutrition, financial classes. We're expanding all of that as we get back into more regular routines again. But we want families to make progress. Honestly, Mark, I'd like to work myself out of a job. I'd be just fine. If nobody in Grayson County was hungry, I bet I could find something else to do.
Yeah, I'm sure that you could. Now, to do what you do, I don't necessarily like the phrase, it takes a village, because in ways of the origins of it, but it's a true statement. It requires an army to operate. I know you have a staff and a team that does the core and is the nucleus of your of the programs that you offer, but you have a huge amount of volunteers and companies that come in and help. And I see photos of it. I see, I talk with people about, they go and they volunteer. You all cannot do this alone, correct?
Oh, absolutely not. We serve a government program, but we don't receive government funding. We rely so much on the volunteers. In 2020, I was able to count 540 different individual volunteers that participated on some level for the Alliance. And that doesn't catch everybody, because sometimes there's things going on that it just comes to me later. We each year rely heavily on volunteers. We depend heavily on those that participate in our fundraisers and do those food drives, that do donation drives. All of that comes into play. We're a grant-funded, individually funded agency, and we're going in our 21st year of serving Grayson County. We have a passion for this county to grow stronger and healthier and just make progress.
I have really enjoyed over the last couple of years these made-for-television golf outings called The Match, and the most recent one, which was out in Big Sky Country, was all about contributing to Feeding America.
Oh, neat.
And they, if they hit a shot here, they hit a shot there, then they would say, okay, there's 100,000 meals to Feeding America, and what they use it as is an example to show the power of $1.
Mm-hmm.
What $1 can do. I could go to the store and I get $1 worth of stuff, but you could use that dollar and it's worth 10 times what it is to me, or some weird multiple. And I say that to say this: the value of $1 to you is extremely important, and you can do a huge amount with $1.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you talk in just relation to Ducking Hunger itself, every $5 ticket sold sponsors 13 meals. So it's the equivalent, because our buying power is better because we are a member food pantry of Feeding America, Kentucky's Heartland. And so we get a better price point for every dollar. So when you think about it, if you give $1 to the Alliance, 96 cents of that is literally going in to the supportive service of clients. We have such a low overhead because of our minimal staffing and our huge volunteer base.
Ducking Hunger Regatta, and you said the 6th?
Yes.
Returns in its, I don't know if it's the original format, but
it is.
But back to its 2019 format.
Yes.
We'll be at the Litchfield Aquatic Center. We'll be on Labor Day. We'll be at 6 p.m. wrapping up the Labor Day weekend. Someone is going to walk away with maybe $1,000 as the grand prize, but you've got to be holding the winning duck of the Ducking Hunger Regatta. Kind of explain how it works.
Okay, so we have 2,000 little rubber ducks that are all numbered, and every ticket that's sold, only those ducks race. Now this is it, folks. This is the year that we want to adopt all 2,000 ducks. We need them to race to bring up that financial support that the Alliance needs. It's a possible $10,000 fundraiser for the food pantry if we just adopt the ducks. So these 2,000 little ducks will get dumped into the lazy river, and they will race. I mean, that river gets turned up wide, wide open.
They turn it up to 11.
Yes,
It
right.
was intense last year.
Yeah,
It was intense.
Well, last year was a different duck.
Well, that was my first ever experience with the Ducking Hunger Regatta, and I remember that we had like a photo finish almost at the end.
Yeah.
It did get dicey there at the end, yeah.
It was a feather,
But
not
the
a nose.
Litchfield Aquatic Center is the lazy river at the Aquatic Center is the perfect venue for
Oh,
this.
absolutely. Great place to be, easy access for anybody. And the ducks go in, they race. We usually do about 3 heats. So we'll pluck those lucky ducks out of each heat, and those heat winners go in for the final race. The first duck across the finish line in the final heat is the $1,000 cash prize. We have a second and third place of family passes to the Aquatic Center. And every 100% of this is staying right here in Grayson County to help our friends and neighbors who are food insecure.
Yeah, 100% of the proceeds for this go straight into the Grayson County Alliance. And as you mentioned, 2,000 ducks, so $10,000 is what you could generate on that. But there are also corporate sponsorships that are available,
Absolutely.
ranging from 100 to 200 to 50, and so you can make a big difference in doing that. Guess what? I'm here to tell you, she'll accept any amount of money that you want to donate
She will.
for your corporate sponsorship. But you brought
Yeah, Quacky's here to
Quacky
see you guys.
with you. I
because-
noticed Quacky was kind of peeking through the window during
Yeah,
the first segment today.
He's been known to be Peking duck.
Peking duck. I got it. Do you stay awake late at night coming up with your duck puns?
I don't
Because
have to. They just come to me.
every-
It's a sickness.
Every time I see you, you have a new one
Well,
that
it's
you didn't have the last time.
Another
so
feather in my cap.
I understand. I guess we could just let you go and just see how many of them you could rattle
They
off.
just flock to me.
Ah, I see. You also have, for convenience this year, a QR code. So you, on various literature and on the website and on places, will it work? Do you think
Absolutely.
will it work if you put it on your camera, do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. We can try it and
Here,
see. If,
it might be easier on mine.
let's see. Anyone who wants to
Yeah.
point their camera at that or their camera at that QR code while it's on screen, and if you take a picture of that and you follow the link, you can buy your
Dr.
duck
Ducks.
right now. You could just you can purchase the lucky duck.
It's that easy, or go to our website. It's the first thing that pops up on our website, gc-alliance.com.
Listen, there is no reason. There is absolutely no reason that we should have any of these ducks that are not adopted for the Ducking Hunger Regatta.
I think this is the year. Like, we've all needed something fun to look at. 2020, and I just want to say thank you to Tourism and K105 for their faithfulness to this event. You guys made it happen last year. You all, we were stuck. There was no getting this going last year without you all, and so you all made that possible. Starting Where's Quacky, you all made it possible. The production, all of those things, and we just thank you so much. But this is the year, folks. Come on, let's have some fun. The yellow ducks are funny. They're fun, but it's a serious issue of hunger. And so I just challenge everybody.
I'm just telling you, if Debbie walks up to you and says, "Do you want to sponsor a duck?" the answer is yes. You don't say no. And then she says, "How many would you like?" And you say, "Let's do 5. Let's do," right? You can do multiples, correct?
Yes,
Easy as that?
absolutely.
All right, so there she is, Colonel Debbie Childress from the Grayson County Alliance. Thank you for coming in and helping us kick off day number 1 of Where's Quacky, and keep us up to date on how things are going, okay?
Will do.
All right, so Colonel Debbie Childress. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got plenty more. Hang around here on In the Know.
Hey, my sister just called, and her daughter is moving out.
Aw, her first apartment? That's great news.
Yeah, good news for her, but bad news for my back. Can you imagine all those heavy boxes? They're going to be shopping to get everything she needs to be independent. A TV, something to play music.
Oh, just go to Bluegrass Cellular. She can save $200 on any iPad with the purchase of an iPhone. She'll have everything she needs in the palm of her hands. Total independence.
Yeah, she could enjoy music with Apple Music, stream movies, write with Apple Pencil, FaceTime her friends, and even more with access to the App Store.
Mm-hmm. The best of the best to leave the nest. And fewer boxes for her favorite uncle to lift.
My back will forever be grateful. And so will she.
Restrictions apply. Visit Bluegrass Cellular online or in store. Bluegrass Cellular. Your community expanded.
There's still time for summer fun at Beach Bend Park. Beach Bend is now open weekends only through September 18th plus Labor Day. Enjoy 2 parks in 1 and thrills for all ages with classic amusement rides and awesome water attractions. Ride the awesome Kentucky Rumbler roller coaster with over half a mile of amazing twists and drops. Enjoy daily shows, mini golf, and so much more. Take the plunge in our million-gallon Splash Lagoon water park with wave pool, lazy river, and exhilarating water slides. Or relax in your own private cabana rental. Purchase tickets online and save on 1-day admission, or have twice the fun with a 2-day play pass for only $39.99. Active, retired, and veteran armed forces receive free admission with a valid non-expired military ID. Full details are listed at beachbend.com. The parking tubes and sunscreen are always free. For park hours, to purchase tickets or book a birthday party, visit beachbend.com.
High-speed internet is coming to Grayson County. Your trusted electric provider, Warren RECC, is partnering with NCTC, a 70-year communications veteran, to bring high-speed internet to more than 7,000 homes and businesses in Grayson County. Visit fiberforgrayson.com to register your interest today. Working from home, virtual schooling, gaming, or simply streaming your favorite show is more important than ever, and Warren RECC and NCTC are here to help. Visit fiberforgrayson.com.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Additional showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast for this afternoon. Some of the thunderstorms we see for the second half of the day could be on the stronger side with damaging winds and some very heavy rain possible. We'll dry out overnight, but still keep a couple of isolated downpours in the forecast. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
The K105 105 Days of Summer.
Awesome!
summer.
Brought to you by Future Designs on the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.
Song of the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth. Gone with the wind. There ain't nobody looking back again.
Did you know
Cotton on the roadside, cotton in the
manhole covers are round so they can't fall in the opening?
I think I did know that.
You did know that?
I think I did know that. Yeah.
Where did you learn that? Did you learn that in a class at school? Was there a class that taught that?
It was Manhole 101 in
Manhole
college.
101. I got it. Okay. You must have went to a real special school.
That's how we do it down at Western.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because
I
there's
went there. I did
construction
not
going
learn
on.
that. Yeah, I didn't
construction
learn that.
going on 24/7 down on that campus. So
By the
you
way,
got to be ready for
those of you that are getting in the ducking hunger regatta, they're picking up your duck. Just know you're competing against us because we already got our ducks. We've got. Do we have 5?
We were training them
didn't-
in the creek last week.
Listen, she's a professional duck raiser over there. She knows
That is
how
true.
to maximize
Soccer
and get
coach,
the
duck
most
raiser.
out of the most out of the ducks. Here's today's water cooler question. Going to give you 4 tickets to Beach Bend. If you can be the winner on today's water cooler question, you text your answer to 270-259-6000. 270-259-6000 is the number that you text your answer to. 12% of people say this smell makes them happy. 12% of people say this smell makes them happy. What is it? Text the answer to 270-259-6000. We've got an excess of tickets and only a little bit of summer left, so going to give away 4 tickets to Beach Bend today. If you can text the answer to 270-259-6000, 12 out of 100 people say this smell makes them happy. What is it? I know it makes Miss Buckles happy over there.
Oh,
Well, so I've written down mine, but I would have thought it would be higher than 12%, like 12%.
Yep. The Suicide Squad tanks box office with $26 million, which is the worst start for the franchise. Jungle Cruise at $65.3 million. Old at $38.5 million. Black Widow, Stillwater, The Green Knight, Space Jam 2, Snake Eyes, Escape Room, and F9. I've not seen any of those.
I have a friend who saw Suicide Squad and said it was great.
You said it was great.
Said it was fantastic. He saw it over the
I
weekend.
don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. I do want to see Jungle Cruise.
Me too.
Because I want to. Dwayne Johnson last night, I got to tell you, speaking of the Olympics, I am making a pledge to try and pay as much attention as possible to the Paralympic Games, which start on August 23rd. And so there are people with disabilities that are competing. So after they have the Olympic Games, Tokyo also hosts, and they've got, I think, 22 different sports, swimming and wheelchair basketball and all those things. And I just kind of want to give them the same respect and the same support that I would give in the normal Olympic Games. But because it's a couple of weeks later, sometimes it evaporates. You know, it's like, okay, well, those are over, but I want to make sure that, they get an opportunity because there's some really great stories. The reason I thought of that is because Dwayne Johnson last night did the setup for it about some of the athletes that you'll see competing
Oh, and they're great
in the
athletes,
Paralympic
too.
Games. And
I mean, fantastic athletes.
the one Toyota commercial that they've been running during the Tokyo Games about the swimmer who lost her legs.
Yes.
She was
Yes.
adopted,
Yep.
and it's like that gets me every. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I wish they'd quit showing that because it makes me emotional when I see it. So.
Now, Christy, I know you said you don't like the Olympics, but did you see the Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart? Did you see that?
I saw.
I was gonna say if there was one thing I felt like that would get you into the Olympics, I felt like it would be Snoop.
I did not.
I
You
saw
missed it.
the best of. They did a compilation last night during the Tokyo Gold Show where they took the best moments of Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg.
Him talking
talk
about
the Olympics.
equestrian was the best.
I didn't see that one, but they got to it was basically like Kevin Hart, Snoop Dogg watch the Olympics Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, where they just sit there and say, look at that guy, or they would make fun of the announcers. Like, why is he dragging it out like that? And there will be a gold medal. Just put it all together, he said. So it was.
Yeah,
It was pretty
You
funny.
know, we were talking about it last week, and I think whoever our guest co-host was asked, "Can we share it?" I was like, "Well, probably not on air." Yeah. Snoop's not necessarily the cleanest.
Well, yeah, that
language-wise.
was the other thing. When they were showing it on television, they had to do a lot of bleeps where
'cause
they
it was on
probably
Peacock.
weren't doing so much bleeps on the Peacock. So 12% of people say this smell makes them happy. Looks like Belinda is the winner. And clean sheets is the answer. Clean sheets. Yeah?
I do love that.
You always make a comment that, oh, these sheets smell so good. So there you go. Congratulations. Clean sheets is the answer. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, wrap it up for the morning here on In the Know.
The more expensive something is, the better its quality, right? Well, that may not be true if you're talking about a college education. Students and their parents often think a high-priced, prestigious university guarantees more success than a degree from a lesser-known school. But studies show, in most cases, it's not true. Author Malcolm Gladwell explains why that is. Most people think prestigious universities create excellence the same way the military does. A young person can enter the military with nothing and leave with maturity, discipline, and experience, fully qualified to build a successful career. But Gladwell argues that prestigious universities are more like modeling agencies. Modeling agencies don't create beautiful people, they collect them. Prestigious universities don't create high achievers, they enroll students who have already proven they're capable of high-level performance. The secret to the student's success isn't the prestige of the school, it's about the character the student already possesses. Those students could probably go to almost any school and do just as well. Consider this question from Malcolm Gladwell. Does a school that costs 10 times more than another school provide 10 times the education? The takeaway for students and their parents is this. When it comes to future success, your best bet is a college that offers the degree you need at a price you can afford. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
When caring for a family member, their state of health is continually on your mind. And when they're faced with a health concern, you'll do just about anything to make them feel better. Rest assured, their feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know all about your family's health history so we can provide you with educated advice. So when someone's counting on you to help them maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember, at Midway Pharmacy.
Hey, it's Shannon the Dude. As Kentuckians get back on the road this summer and traffic increases, law enforcement will be out this summer during the Blue Lights Across the Bluegrass campaign. The goal is not to write tickets, but to save lives. So please, do your part, obey the speed limit, drive sober, buckle up, and put the phone down. Spare yourself a ticket and possibly a life. Be safe, Kentucky. A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID-19 relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor's visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you still listen to 8-track tapes and watch black and white television, then I bet you still use a phone to request underground utility line locations. Well, that's old school. Now everything is done online, including contacting 811 before you dig. Making a request online is faster, easier, and just as free as calling. Before you dig, on the job site or at home, notify 811 online at Kentucky811.org. That's Kentucky811.org.
MB's point to ponder for today, kind of going back to the water cooler question. What weird smell do you actually enjoy? What weird smell do you actually enjoy?
Well, I mean, I enjoy the smell of fuel.
Yeah, kind of a
I
little
thought
bit
of
in that.
gasoline as
yeah,
well.
like
Yeah.
exhaust.
Exhaust?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Because exhaust is different to me.
It's a little different.
Than
no, I don't
gasoline
necessarily.
or petrol.
I feel like the older I get, the more I dislike it.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I'd like that. Probably explains a lot.
Maybe. And I always struggle with, well, what's weird? If I like it, I'm less likely to consider it
So,
being weird.
I wanted to say like a fresh mowed lawn, but I don't think that's odd.
No, I don't
See,
think that's weird. at
now
all.
my allergies say no. No way. Do not like that. Can't go sniffing that or you're going to be.
I can understand that. On television tonight. Not
Olympics.
Not the Olympics.
Yeah.
Actually, there are. NBC Sports Network, because they don't have anything else to show in the middle of the week, they are showing some repeats of the Olympics. If you didn't-
Hopefully they got the climbing.
if
Because that
you
was
didn't
really cool.
want
I'd watch
them
that
for
again.
whatever reason. That looked like Spider-Man. They were just climbing up the wall.
Because we were just sitting there watching, and Dennis Cook, like he went into a trance watching them up there on how fast they were moving.
Yeah, I guess for Dennis, climbing a wall would be like Martians coming to Earth and walking around.
You said it, not me.
He can defend himself tomorrow. Is he going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I think so. I hope so. He needs to. I need an accounting of his last week, and apparently I need to know more about this incident with Sheriff Chaffins.
Me too. They were going at one another.
It's the season 17 finale of The Bachelorette on ABC tonight. Thank goodness. I've been waiting for that. On HGTV, the series premiere of Cheap Old Houses. There's a lot of programming in that space. Isn't that fair to say? I mean, that I always talk about the people, the monkey see, monkey do, whether it's the car wash or the golf scramble or the whatever it is. Chip and JoJo became hugely successful, and then everybody said, well, we can do a show like that.
Well, my dad was telling me yesterday they were playing Vanilla Ice is coming to play after one of the Reds games in a couple of weeks. And my dad said, well, did you know Vanilla Ice has apparently become a big star on HGTV? Yeah. Apparently he's got, I had no idea. I didn't know that Vanilla Ice had that in him.
Yep.
Well, and I watch HGTV, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Christina on the Coast, and then there's just...
Well, apparently Vanilla Ice
Love
has a
It or
show.
List
The amount, yeah, it's...
No, my mom, love it or list it, drives my mom nuts anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not as good as what it was before.
Today's highlight in history, this date in 1945, 3 days after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, a U.S. B-29 superfortress codenamed Boxcar dropped a nuclear device called Fat Man on Nagasaki. In 1910, the U.S. Patent Office granted Alva Fisher, the Hurley Machine Company, a patent for an electrically powered washing machine. Jesse Owens won his fourth gold medal in the Berlin Olympics this date in 1936. Michael Phelps won his 20th and 21st Olympic gold medals at the Rio Games 5 years ago today.
He did very well in his analysis. I was impressed.
Yeah, he wasn't. I noticed that they used him sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
They used him for the big races, and I don't know if that was just to not overload him. Or...
And so did Tony Hawk. I thought Tony Hawk did
Tony
a
Hawk
great
did a
job.
fine job. I didn't watch so much of the skateboarding.
I forgot it was a thing, and I looked up, and there was Tony Hawk on my TV. I thought,
I was disappointed to find out that they had gotten me excited about breakdancing, only come to find out breakdancing is not until the Paris Games.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought you were not here last week. I thought you were competing in
Well-
Tokyo. I was watching. That's why we had the TV on, because we were waiting.
I went over there and looked for the sign up, and they said that's not until 2024. And I said, well,
You got more time to train.
while we're here, I guess we'll see the sights of Tokyo. Sam Elliott is 77 today. So Sam Elliott's been in a lot of great things.
Great mustache, too.
The Star is Born. A Star is Born. He was in that more recently. He was The Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
He was the dad in that.
Awesome.
And he's going to be in the Yellowstone prequel, the Yellowstone, the Y 1883. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill are going to be one of the early Dutton couples, but Sam Elliott plays a role in the Yellowstone prequel, which I think will be great.
Okay.
Melanie Griffith is 64 today.
Wow.
Hoda Kotb is 57 today. Pro and college football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders. Am I required to say coach? Do I have to say Coach Deion Sanders?
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
And former Cincinnati Red, too.
Oh, yeah, he was that. He's 54 today. So he probably won't grant my request for interviews if I don't properly call him Coach.
Coach Prime.
So Deion Sanders is 54. Chris Cuomo is 51. Anna Kendrick is 36 today. She do that Cup song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gone but not forgotten. Whitney Houston was born this date in 1963. Let's see if we can find a chart topper. We don't have a lot of time left for today. 1957.
Cottonwoods whispering above.
Debbie Reynolds.
Dennis was very upset that we had a chance to play Prince but ran out of time multiple times last week. And he is a big fan of Bat Dance by Prince, but we ran out of time for it.
Dennis is a big fan of Bat Dance?
By Prince. I learned that.
All right.
Apparently he just likes Batman. So.
1966. Oh, okay. I see.
I think it's the Batman connection.
Yeah, got it. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. Little Red Riding Hood. Did you learn any other things about Dennis last week that I need to know about?
I made notes. We got a long list of notes.
You have a new dossier that
Correct.
you didn't have before?
Correct.
Very good. The Bee Gees, number 1, 1975.
We dove more into his fear of birds.
He has a fear of birds.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, he's terrified of birds because he quote unquote can't trust them.
Can't trust him.
They move too fast.
What about Big Bird?
Apparently he had an incident when he was younger with said bird.
With one bird in particular or a group of birds?
I didn't prod any further.
I think I'll drill down on this a little more tomorrow. The Jacksons, number 1 in 84. I forgot that Mick Jagger helped out on this song.
He celebrated a birthday while you all were gone.
That's what we were
Mick
doing.
Jagger.
We were celebrating Mick Jagger's birthday while trying to.
Surprisingly, he's only like
breakdancing.
78 or something, which I would have thought looking at him that he was at least in his 90s.
The Proclaimers. I'm Gonna Be, 1993. One of the best songs from the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack. So how many miles did he go?
100 and then more.
He went 1,000. 500 more. Let's go to 2002. And Pink, Just Like a Pill.
God, this song's that old? Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of surprised. And you can tell Pink looks a lot younger then. And Katy Perry, number 1, 2011, was last Friday night. And Gabby Barrett, I Hope, number 1 a year ago today. So there you go. There are your chart toppers. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. The best view comes after the hardest climb. The best view comes after the hardest climb. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky, WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA. 104.9 FM, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105. Your news starts now.